Welcome back to the channel. Look, sunshine, it's bright. I'm out in the wild at the moment. I've just gone out for a drive just to get a bit of fresh air and some vitamin D and green. Anyway, it's Sunday the 11th of December 2024. Before we get too far into the video, if you could just like the tick thingy here, just tick the like button for me, that'd be fab. And if you're new to the channel, why not subscribe? And there's a bell around here somewhere if you want to get alerts to when I actually post. Talking about posting, I was looking at trying to do a video a day, but I found quite quickly that the content isn't really there sort of to impose on you, the viewer. So I will do a little bit of ad hoc again, but I'm going to try and do at least a couple of posts a week minimum. So I hope you don't mind, but that's what I'm going to kind of try and do to keep my sanity safe. The job front, I have still been looking for jobs. I've been back to the websites for all the job websites and amended my profile where possible to set it so that we are in Bristol and a job radius of about 10 to 15, 20 miles around Bristol. So I'm thinking, yep. What day was it? I think it was Thursday it went quiet. This is when I did the change. Friday I didn't get any job alerts at all. Saturday absolutely bombarded with jobs all in London. So I don't know where the systems are picking up their locations from, but I don't know. Fortunately, all the jobs were in-person jobs in London, which makes it quite difficult. Realistically, I've got a feeling I'm going to end up doing something like a hybrid job if I can find a company that has got great disability facilities and things. So yes, I think hybrid or something like that is going to be the answer. If I can get a job into that, that would be great. If I get a job full stop, it should be great. Tomorrow, sometime between 8 AM and 12, I've got a phone call from my GP. That'll be the first time I've spoken to the GP in at least 3 years. So I'm not even sure if my name GP is still in the practice. He might have retired by now. I don't know. It's a mixture of talking about the MS, talking about my health, and basically catching up. So I will give a little bit more information after I've had that talk. So the keen-eyed amongst you will notice that we slightly had a haircut. That was mainly because Saturday morning I had a shower, looked in the mirror and I thought, good God, you look old with the grey. So it was like, nope, that's going. So yeah, short back and very short all over. And it's breezy, but at least the sort of weather is starting to warm up now. So if you're going grey, just cut it off. It just gets rid of it. When I was born, apparently I had very, very, very light coloured hair, almost white. Some of the early pictures, which no longer exist, I made sure of that, of me around about 5 years old, I had a sort of yellowish blonde hair, and here I am in my 50s and I've just gone grey. Well, used to be grey, shiny. So yeah, we had to get rid of that. One thing I have thought about doing is something that I did back in the 90s. I used to do freelance circuit board designs and things like that, which how it worked was somebody would contact me and give me a drawing on usually the back of a piece of paper or something, a sort of sketch. I would turn that into an electrical CAD diagram. I would then send that diagram back to I'm going to call them the client. They weren't really, it was just somebody had asked me to do a job, a friend of mine. I would send the circuit diagram back to them for them to approve. Once that was approved, I would then go through with their recommended parts that they want to use. A lot of the time, the people I were doing these boards for had drawers full of junk components and things. So it was what they had, I would use, kind of thing. I would then lay out a circuit board based on their parts. Once laid out, I would send the board diagrams back to them, including a 3D image of it. It's sort of like a 3D image of the board, completed board. I would send that all back to them for them to approve. Once it's approved, then I would do final mask up and send, if they wanted, I could send the boards away to be manufactured, or I can give them all of the Gerber files and everything, and they can send it off and manufacture it themselves. Once the boards are back, they go back to them. They build and test. If there's any issues or anything like that, any design changes need to be doing, I could tweak the diagrams again. Just we'll go through the same process of sending them the drawings. They approve. I lay out. They approve. I then send the boards away. So something I used to do in the 90s. Admittedly, it was more of a hobby thing. Not going into finances too much, but it was way below anything that the taxman would ever be interested in. We're talking beer money rather than sort of vast amounts of money. So that might be something that I could get back into doing again. So I have done some designs myself, which I've gone through and got manufactured, popped them together and offered them to the amateur radio community for use with amateur radio repeaters. And surprisingly, out of that design, there must be probably about 40 of these boards that are dotted around the world, different states. In America, there's quite a few of them. There's a few in the UK. It's down in Australia, South Korea. I'm just trying to think where else. So it's kind of nice. And years ago, I used to work for, when I was able-bodied and was able to do things, I used to work part-time for a company that used to install laser game systems, and they flew us around Europe installing these things. And some of the boards that were inside of the game systems we actually built, manufactured, put together, assembled. It was good fun. And it's kind of a weird feeling knowing that people play a game, be it a sort of glorified TV remote control thing. They play a game of laser tag or something with some boards that you've physically either designed or assembled. That's kind of a bit mind-numbing, but all good fun. So that possibly something I could get back into. I'm trying not to get into the self-employed thing, but if I'm backed into a corner, I will do. And unfortunately, I'm starting to be backed into a corner at the moment, because at least I can be sort of on my own terms and things like that. So yeah, something I might have to think about, to be truthful. Something I'll have to do the pros and cons thing of it, because I don't want to rush into to doing something like that. One thing that is always on the back of my mind is I've only got 10 years, 10 years left before I can actually pull on a state pension, and 12 years before I can actually get full-blown state pension. It's certainly clocking round quicker, and the older I get, the faster the year goes. I don't know if you experience the same thing. I don't know, it's just me, maybe, but as I get older, it just seems the years get faster and faster and faster and faster. So it's like now we're in winter. Unfortunately, global warming and things has really messed this up. This kind of time of year, the fields to my left and the fields to my right would be absolutely blanketed with snow. And now it's just wet. So maybe that's where we're heading at the moment. What else to report? One thing One thing I have to do when I get home this evening is spend some time up the workshop, which is a converted garage, which I converted just after we moved to where we are now. So I was fully able-bodied, wasn't walking with a stick, Zimmer frame or anything, is fully mobile. I used to go camping and all sorts of things. So yeah, the workshop needs, I think the polite way of saying it is a pull through the Christmas tree. There's loads of junk up there, which I've hoarded. I'll openly admit that. It's I electronic hoard, so if I find some boards or something, I'll hold on to them because there is some parts on there which I will need, blah, 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 blah. So what I need to do is go through those boards and pull the bits off that I do need and scrap the rest. There's in the boards themselves, there's precious metals. So you got sort of gold, titanium, arsenics in there, some platinum, things like that. There's quite some nice metals, but don't get excited. They're only, I would say in total, there's probably a gram or a microgram or something like that. So when they go for disposal, they've got to go in the correct recycling bins. Thankfully, my recycling centre does have a bin for electronic equipment, so that's good. There's a few little other things in there I need to tidy up as well. The plan is to go to the recycling centre on Tuesday, so if I can bag everything up and get it all ready, that would be really cool. Hey, you never know, especially if I go back into doing self-employed stuff again. So that's this evening stroke tomorrow sorted out. As I said, I have first thing in the morning GP calling, so I need to do that first thing, then go at the workshop. There's not that much to clear out, to be truthful. It's not like you can't get in there or anything like that. I would say no more than 2 rubbish sackfuls of stuff to get rid of, if that. So it's not a major task. I still can't get over how bright and sunny it is here. I think we'll call it a day there, and I'll speak to you further on down. But like I said, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe please, and like the button, etc, etc. You know what to do. And I'll talk to you all next time. Catch you later. Bye bye.